Anger is my favorite emotion. I'm just going to be honest. If you want to bust another myth about yoga, it's that if you want to be a teacher, you have to be a certain personality, or I'm not sure, a certain way, that this is about just calming down. And I'm like, this is not about calming down. And this is also not about regulating your nervous system or resting so that you can go do more.
Yeah.
So I am just really excited to share that with people. So it's for now just going to be a 4-week series, so I can kind of beta test it to see how people respond to it, if they're going to respond to it in the ways that these practices have helped me come into this moment of clarity about my anger and what is its purpose.
Welcome to Unmute with Priya, the podcast where silence ends, voices rise, and women rediscover the freedom to speak and live authentically, especially in life after 40. This show is proudly sponsored by Project Icon. I'm your host, Priya Sudarsanam. Let's dive into today's conversation. My guest today is Amber Davey. Amber is a yoga therapist in training and a massage therapist who helps people who are dealing with chronic pain, burnout, and fatigue, but through a lens that goes deeper than just the physical body. Amber, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, so let's just dive into how you got into actually this, I call it the healing arts. So massage therapy and yoga, and it looks like massage came first. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, correct. So I always knew that I was going to be a massage therapist since I was 14 years old. I don't know how I knew that. And my bio does say that I had adverse childhood experiences. And at the age of 14, when I knew that, soon after that, one of the biggest upheavals happened in my life, and that was the loss of my sole parent, my mother. And so that kind of derailed me for a number of years. But in part, I had opportunities to go to college and to take the more traditional route. And it was sort of pressed upon me that that's what I should do, and I should take those opportunities with academic and athletic scholarships. And so I did. And then I took a traditional job in my 20s. First, I was in restaurant management, and then I was in sales for personnel services and recruiting services. And I quickly was really burnt out by the time I was 23 or 24. I was extremely unhappy. My health was really bad. I was overweight. I was smoking still, and never thought that I would just be a smoker. I always kind of just thought that was like a thing you pick up in college. And so yeah, I was really dealing with some chemical dependencies and things like that. So I did some soul searching, and I realized that I had that moment of clarity and that memory of my 14-year-old self. Like, what am I doing? What am I going to do? I was like, I'm going to go to massage school. So I quit my job, and I took just a part-time job, and I put myself through massage school, and I've never really looked back. I knew I was in the right place. I just went right into trying to build my own clientele. And then I was doing that for about a year, and people started telling me to increase my shelf life as a massage therapist because it is so physically demanding, that I was going to have to figure out how to manage that pain. And yoga was the thing that kept coming up. And I thought that was really just not for me. I laughed at it. I didn't sort of laugh. I laughed at it. I said, no, that's kind of for flexible girls. And I don't know, not me. I'm an athlete, but the pain got bad enough. And I was working in a holistic health center, and they had yoga classes right there. So I started taking some yoga classes. It did begin to help. And then I had about 5 classes, and there was this teacher at the end in Shavasana who was doing, his script or whatever, and just said something about resting your attention in the heart center, the center of your chest. It was a long time ago. I don't remember exactly. But I remember having some sort of experience at the time that I had no context for. And just coming out of that class, like, what was that? That was not yoga as I knew it in my experience, as like exercise and something that was going to be rehabilitative. So I kept going back, and then it soon enough was a teacher there and a colleague of mine. After we worked together for a long time, she was taking a meditation teacher training, and she said, I really think that you would be a great yoga teacher. You should think about it. And I laughed at that as well. And I was like, no, no, no. And just with her gentle kind of urging after she took this teacher training, then it was, man, I just really think that you would like this teacher. And she offers, the full teacher training. And I went to her website and I remember having the same experience, looking at her website, sort of going, what is this? This is weird. Like, but also like, and just rejecting it right away. Like, this is
Right.
not for me. I am into very woo woo stuff and I am very into the esoteric, but this is kind of out there for me. So I sort of just rejected it and set it aside for a while. And I don't know. I don't know what that moment was. And that probably my sweet colleague, she just kept kind of urging me and really just saying wonderful things about me, right? Of
Right.
like how she thought I'd be so good at this. And it's like, somebody else believing in you, and you think maybe you should, why can't you see what they see? So I kept going back, and then I went to meet this teacher, and I took a couple of her classes, and then I just had that feeling where I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I need to do this. So I did it, and she's a yoga therapist. She's still my teacher now. It's just kind of been from then on, I just kept going back. I kept continuing to take trainings. I've had the opportunity to have really wonderful teachers, internationally known teachers that, I've taken online or even gone to some of their workshops, that it just kind of kept bringing me down the path. Every time I learned something, I would have those types of experiences that I was not expecting to get, that kind of kept me intrigued and curious. And then they also, the reality of it too, right, was that I was experiencing a lot of physical pain doing massage now. I mean, I've done it since 2008. I was experiencing burnout and fatigue, compassion fatigue, with the line of work that I do. And the yoga, the continuing to go down that path and learn more and more about the studies and the study of the mind, body, spirit system from this perspective, continued every time I thought, I'm done, this is it. I can't do it anymore. I'm quitting. I'm too old, or like whatever it is. And I just kept finding a way. It kept helping me find a way. So I started my yoga therapy training in 2023, and I'm about to finish up this fall. And I've already been working with clients and small groups offering yoga therapy, and it's just been so rewarding for such a long period of time now, while I really am doing more than I feel like I've ever done. Like my capacity
Yeah.
has seemed to expand in a way that now that I'm able to do it but feel sustained, I want I'm like, this is what it is. This is what I want to give to people and share with people, especially people maybe not living with the level of health and vitality that I've been fortunate enough to have.
Yeah. And I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people, because I think, especially with this podcast, and it's for women. I mean, I think a lot more people are listening to it now, but it's really directed to women navigating midlife. And a lot of us go through life burnout and fatigue just from doing all the things that we thought we were supposed to do. So to know that there is a sustainable path is really exciting.
Yeah.
You said something that I really want to dive deeper into. It's just that once you learned that yoga was just beyond the physical. So that's a myth that I want us to debunk on this episode. So tell me a little bit more about and just even for the listeners, what yoga really is. It's because a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to go to a practice for an hour, and great, I did my yoga for today. But it's more than that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's so funny. This is one of the first questions we discuss in our level 1 teacher trainings. It does not matter. You can ask me every time, what is yoga? And I go, oh God. Oh God, I don't think I am qualified to answer that question. Even after all this, I mean, how do you even answer that? So, I go to some of my go-tos, and one of them is it is that I think it's Rod Stryker, actually. It's a very old definition that we have, and I do love it, is that it is an energy management system on the way to enlightenment. Now, I just like that it's an energy management system. I mean, okay, I can understand that. I can do something with that. And also more recently, in talking with my teacher, we were discussing it, and she was saying it really, the body of knowledge now, especially now, even around yoga in the modern times, is itself a fully comprehensive system for the mind, body, spirit system. It really is. And now, because we've brought it towards to modern times, it definitely applies. I mean, now more than ever. I of all people have probably am one of those students who has the most difficult time looking at philosophy texts and
Yeah.
kind of wrestling with that. And so, you could do it that way. I'm not the person to talk about it that way. I'm the person that's like, well, let's do it. Let's just do the practice. Let's try some things and see what works. So, the fact that you have all these different options because there is such a huge body of work around it now is like, there's always going to be a way in for people. So, I mean, what is yoga? Oh my God, I feel like it really is just an ancient body of work that supersedes all time.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think
the
it
best answer.
applies.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my guest before was as a meditation mindfulness teacher, and she talked about it not just being about that hour that you're sitting in meditation. It's about, okay, now you've done this, now go out and live it. And that's one of my favorite books too, is Living Your Yoga. So, okay, you do the practice, now go live your yoga too. And whatever that means to the person. Now, would you say that it also allows you, just because of that integration of mind, body, and soul, allowing a person to connect deeper to themselves and their body?
Would I say that it does allow
Like
them to do that?
So in this world where I think a lot of people are losing connection with their body, then it allows that reconnection.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Like I said, I wasn't even trying to. I was 5 classes in. I wasn't even looking for that. And I know that's like, oh, well, that's just you. That's one person. But again, now I've been teaching and I've been working with people. I have experienced that. I have witnessed it time and time again now, working with people, listening to their feedback, coming and saying, like, of course, they have their goals and I honor that and I meet them where they are. This is what they want to work on. This is what they want to work on. I'm not going to try to make anybody drink Kool-Aid they don't want or sell them anything they're not looking for. And time again, they're like, wait a minute, now this is happening. What is this? I mean, just this unexpected of, this is accessing places in me I was not expecting to go. I wasn't planning on going, but not in ways that they feel, that feel scary or frightening, right? Because it is just union of their mind, body, and spirit. So it's not, again, like something external that you are applying. It is the wisdom that exists in us, and the tools and the practices and philosophy of yoga help us to begin to learn how to navigate that our own internal systems. So it's different than like, oh, you have to take something from outside of yourself and then you go there. That could be, right, a little bit terrifying, I would imagine. Yeah, so that's also kind of what I really, really love about it, that I do now, after practicing it this many years, I really do wholeheartedly believe that we are divine beings living a human existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you noticed happens, and even just from your own experience, and you might have shared a little bit of this, what does it look like when a person actually starts reconnecting with their body and making that connection?
It can look all sorts of ways, right? I mean, and not that people haven't been a little bit like, oh, jarred by that, but because we're doing it in a setting that I'm able to do it in a setting that isn't clinical, that's how I've decided to offer this in a studio, and trying to really bring and create space that, increases all this evidence of safety. Often for my people, it just sort of looks like, I don't know. I always see it in people's eyes. And it looks like this light that sort of comes on, like an illumination of some kind, even if, like me, they don't know how to verbalize that. They don't have really maybe the context for it yet. So yeah, I really do think it looks like a spark, if I had to just say, like, generally speaking.
That.
Yeah.
I love that spark. Yeah, that's a good visual. Let's talk a little bit about the work that you do, because your work is centered around empowerment and emotional integration. Tell us a little bit more about your specific the direction that you're going in.
Yeah, so because I'm a massage therapist, I naturally have people now for years that I've worked with who come and they have chronic pain. So I help people who are living with chronic pain really start to move away from a life that feels limiting and limited by the limitations that living with chronic pain present to you, and towards a life that feels like it's full of possibility. And I, as a massage therapist, I really was like, I was limited. So it's me doing something for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I began after a while to recognize, like, wouldn't it be better if if they could do this to themselves every day, right? That would really help a lot. So that's when the yoga transition, right? And now I'm bringing more and trying to integrate the two of them. So it's great. I have the massage experience. I can apply hands-on things with people in groups classes and when I feel like it's necessary, when it's going to enrich and enhance the experience for them. Or if I'm in a private session and somebody is living with chronic pain, some of that, it's a mixture of hands-on adjustments, working with marma points in the body. And my training originally was at a Chinese medicine school. So even working with the meridians of the body and energy lines, right? And the energy management of the body and helping them to engage with that and engage with their bodies in a way that feels safe and soothing. Because if you've been living in chronic pain, a lot of them come in and they're starting to disidentify with the body a lot. And as a coping mechanism. And so the yoga is like to have both, where I have people who are like, they're so scared of touch. So I can now integrate both and use both modalities to help people really kind of start to recognize that pain can be influenced in all sorts of ways. And the pain they're currently living with has been being influenced in all sorts of ways that they weren't even aware of. So a lot of what I do also just includes the education about pain science and their nervous system. And sometimes just having that is empowering to people, right? Like education is power. And it does start to help them recognize that they're not helpless, they are not fragile, and B, that there is, a way out of this if oftentimes they've tried lots of things.
Yeah.
Lots of things. I mean, really, by the time they get to me, they've tried lots of things. So I think empowerment is such a key piece by the time people get to me, because I mean, they're like, I've done everything and I am still, living like this. So, a lot of it is just showing them all the things they can do, showing them what's possible, educating them on, you are not a problem. You are not something to be fixed. You are not a protocol. You are a person, and we're gonna kind of figure this out together.
Does that chronic pain with the clients that you've had, does it start to dissipate? Does it start to lessen with the practice?
Oh yeah, I mean that's the great thing, right? With a lot of the things that I'm learning now with the yoga therapy, there's so much evidence-based things going on now that they're teaching. So there's more and more science that's backing up certain things that, oh my gosh, why does yoga work? Why is it doing this? So you can really in the moment give them something, and because the nature of yoga is, okay, now pay attention. So do it, pay attention. How do you feel? Okay, now do this, now pay attention. And that lets them right away begin to see, even if it's just for a moment, that they influenced the pain. And that's so powerful. Like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I was doing nothing. We were doing nothing. And they were able to influence their pain. So that's, again, that's, I mean, and it's not like there's people who come and it can be a long journey for people. But even when you have something powerful like the tools of yoga, and you can show somebody that they can influence their pain just like in that moment, even just for a moment, that is so, it's such a gift for those people. It's such a gift.
That sounds, life-changing and as you said, empowering that they can do this for themselves. Please share your website. In what capacity do you work with people? It sounds like you have some upcoming work. And so, share a little bit about that. And where you're located as well.
So I'm located in Wichita, Kansas, and I'm actually getting ready to move and join some other practitioners at a larger studio just down the street, which is very exciting. But you can always find me at livingyogacollective.com, and then just go to my bio page, and that talks specifically about me because I do partner with a lot of people. I feel like in today's day and age, we all just need a team of healthcare professionals to help support ourselves, to get the things that we need, and to just like build your own little community. So I have my little community of people just that I work with and collaborate with, and we can talk to each other. And the thing that I'm really doing now is I'm taking on more yoga therapy clients for private clients. I have space in my group classes are also private group classes, but I do have space in two of those classes if students want to go the group route. And I'm beginning to create mentorships for teachers as well, who are wanting to kind of, offer more of these things like one-on-one, more specialized things if they're wanting to grow as a teacher. And the other thing that I'm really excited about, I'm beginning to create and going to offer this summer is I'm calling it from the deep from the deep. I haven't even decided the name yet. See, this is like, it's just a little baby that I'm trying to build here. But it's yoga for anger. So yeah, I had a long and still have a very strong connection and relationship with my anger, even rage at times with some of the, experiences of my childhood and things that happened. And it's just, I don't, anger is my favorite emotion. Like, I'm just going to be honest. And if you want to bust another myth about yoga, it's that if you want to be a teacher, you have to be a certain personality, or I'm not sure, a certain way. That this is about just calming down. And I'm like, this is not about calming down. And this is also not about regulating your nervous system or resting so that you can go do more. So I am just really excited to share that with people. So it's for now just going to be a 4-week series, so I can kind of beta test it to see how people respond to it. If they're going to respond to it in the ways that these practices have helped me come into this moment of clarity about my anger and what is its purpose. And my relationship to my anger is actually the thing that helped me arrive at the clarity in the moment that this is my dharmic purpose. I'm supposed to be doing this, even if I only help 5 people in my community, or, like, this is my dharmic purpose. So again, that's kind of just another way that I feel like I can help people feel really empowered, especially in times like these when there's so much pressure to perform. And then there's just pressure to, I don't know. Yeah. It feels like every day you wake up and like the world's on fire. And I think a lot of people are experiencing a lot of anger right now. And they should be. That's a natural response. That's what I would say to them. That is a natural response. These are things that are infuriating. So I'm really excited about sharing how can we integrate our anger? How can we integrate it so that it is something that we start to recognize as that little voice inside, that place inside, like my 14-year-old self, who loves you the most and knows exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're not there, and you're not receiving that love. And so it just is continuing to scream out to you. And so I want to just, really help people get to that place. But you can't just tell people that.
Yeah, this sounds really exciting. And so where can people find out more about this work? And will it be in person, or can it be virtual? Will it be virtual as well?
This first one will just be in person. Again, I'm just kind of testing it out. And then most of my work is in person. Now, if people want to just do mentorships, especially teachers, I can do that online. I'm happy to do that online. Private yoga therapy, I can do that online with people. So they just go to my website, they click the little button to send me an email, and it takes them right through. And you just say, hey, I would like to work with you. Here's what I'm working, and I'll just reach out and we just have a consultation and I visit with people and we go from there. So, yeah, but my group things are usually, they're all in person.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure to put the link to your website in the show notes, and hopefully people listening to this and anybody in Wichita, Kansas can come and see you at your studio and actually experience you firsthand. So thank you so much, Amber, for being with me today. Thank you for sharing a little bit about yoga. I know it's a huge, vast area that there's so much to learn about, but it's definitely shifted the way that I think about it as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And this show is brought to you by Project Icon.